Yo, what up, kings and queens? Hope y'all having a blessed day today. It's your boy C Dog, and I'm back out with another video. All right, so in this one, I'm gonna kind of talk about how I'm earning my weekly income in the stock market, and I'm not doing any kind of day trading, right? So basically, um, this I like Round Hill funds, right? I've looked into a few other companies. I've tried them out, researched into them, but so far I've held a few of Round Hill's funds for the last 8, almost 9 months now, and they are doing phenomenal. Okay. This one is probably by far my favorite, QDTE. This is a cover call strategy ETF. Okay. It's going to utilize a synthetic cover call strategy that seeks to provide current income on a weekly basis while also providing exposure to the NASDAQ 100. All right. First, I just want to take a minute and talk about this crazy high distribution rate of 286% this week. I mean, goodness. This is this is insane. Um, I think maybe I know why we're getting such a high distribution rate this week, but in the meantime, let's check out the distributions. Okay, oh yeah, so typically we're getting about anywhere from I'd say 18 cents a share to I'd say like 23, maybe 24. That's kind of like our average. I'd say like right around our average is probably like 20 cents a share. And this week, we're getting $1.91 per share distribution this week. Um, we're getting paid the day after Christmas, so this will be a pretty nice little late Christmas present to myself and many of you guys. Um, but yeah, no, this is insane. I mean, 286%, bro. You can't beat that. All right. So basically, why I'm holding these funds is because these funds are selling a cover call strategy on the underlying index. I don't know too much about selling cash secured puts and cover calls. This one is just covered calls, but some other funds they do both. I don't know too much about that, but these dudes are professionals, so I would rather let them do what they do, and I just have my money sitting in there. No different than a bank account, right? Obviously, this is more risky than having your money in a savings account, but I just keep my money in there. They pay me every week, every Friday to be exact. Some funds pay on different days of the week. I know some pay Mondays, some pay Thursdays, and some pays Fridays. This one pays Friday. Most of them pays Friday. But um so I'm just keeping my money in there. Um it's a little more complicated than I'm just keeping my money in there, but for the most part, I'm just keeping my money in there and they're generating me weekly passive income. And I don't do anything. I just collect the check and make sure my put options are good, make sure everything is tight, but it's pretty nice. I don't like I said I don't do any like kind of day trading or anything like that with this stuff. And so I'm just getting that weekly income coming in. That's I can use either to drip back into the fund. So then after I get paid, I'll buy more shares, or I'll use that to pay my bills, pay the credit card, pay down margin, things like that. I'm just recently starting to get into margin. So I'm going to get a little bit more experience with that. And then I definitely want to start making some videos about that because that is a game changer. If you can understand it and play margin right to your benefit, oh, it is a game changer. Um, but yeah, I mean that's all I'm doing. I'm just buying these funds. So Round Hill, I like so far they seem like a pretty solid company, right? I own XCTE, which is off the S&P 500, QDTE, and then also the Bitcoin one. I did hold RDTE. They were really good, but I sold them. I got out of that one for some reasons. Maybe I'll make a whole nother video talking about why I got out of there. But for right now, these are my two main holdings, and I do have a little bit of money in this one, but nothing too crazy, right? Um, so we looked at the distributions. Yeah, we did all that. Okay. So basically, why I think we had such a high distribute why we're getting such a high distribution rate this week is because last week there was a whole lot of volume in the market. Basically, on the 17th, there was a large sell off with tech, AI, things like that. And then it seems like back on the 19th, they just bought it right back up. So basically, from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there was just a whole lot of activity going on, a whole lot of buying and selling. And basically, how these cover calls work is simply put, basically, they're buying options or they're buying contracts, and those contracts can gain value in a few different ways, right? Um, they can gain value by the stock price increasing, but they can also gain value just based on like how much volume and is in the market. And so if there's going to be a lot of buying and selling in, um, those contracts are going to be worth a lot more than what they bought them for. So it makes sense why we're getting such high distribution rates. Um, everything from like back on the 10th, the Fed cut rates, and then we saw this pretty nice sell off here on the 17th. Um, so the December 10th was here. This is when the Fed cut rates, not too much, but we did start kind of declining a little bit, and then we had a pretty nice sell off here on the 17th, the week later, and then the 18th and 19th, more so the 19th, it looks like everyone just kind of bought back in. So what that means for the future, I have no idea. This is the weekly chart. It looks like we could definitely keep pushing up. I don't, I don't know though. I'm not 100%, but um, we'll just have to kind of see what happens. But I mean, this is the volume down here, and on the 19th we had a pretty big volume candle, so it makes sense why we're getting such high distributions rate for this week. But so yeah, all right, cool, peace out, y'all.